My name's Joe. I work for New View Window Systems. We're one of the contractors. I work with new build um, house builders across the country, mainly in the northwest in Yorkshire. Um, Within the business, I sort of manage the sort of IT aspect, along with doing estimations for quote and general all round really.
Perfect. So Joe, with that IT hat on, obviously you're going to be sort of acutely aware of systems and what systems could be, should be able to do and so on. Probably a lot more than the typical person who comes across Business Pilot, who would be looking at it more purely from the business aspect and the installations aspect, but not necessarily having that IT or technical element to them. So I wonder if you could just sort of start by letting me know what the situation was before Business Pilot. So what were like the issues and what was life like?
Um, no, nightmare really. We did everything on spreadsheets, Excel, Outlook, all through Office. So everyone used to have sort of their own individual spreadsheets that they'd work off. You try hardest to get everyone on a single thing, but it's difficult when people potentially download something and then start working on it on their own and don't realise that people are not working in the same one. So information, especially when people are off, is just all over the place. And one of the things we realised straight away with Business Pilot, that it's all in one place. That job is there forever from beginning to end, which is perfect from an installation point of view and a customer care. So our customer care team can see if an issue is, maybe there's something wrong with the brickwork rather than the window, straight from when it's been fit with pictures taken from site.
So obviously what you're describing is it's not untypical, it's fairly normal actually. This whole sort of myriad of different systems being used, typically something like Excel, Google Sheets. Some people did have other CRMs, but actually a lot of people, it's essentially a step up from back of a fag packet. That's what it was. And you mentioned stuff like the pictures from site and the customer care side. So what would you say the customer experience was before as well, in terms of how they would interface with the business?
Again, it was difficult, especially when people are off. If you had sort of 4-5 people in our customer care team working off the same spreadsheet, if someone was off, getting to the emails or the information's not been properly uploaded, with Business Pilot you get the opportunity to see every email that's been connected to that job. So it's a lot easier for even like a higher up perspective. If a director wants to see what's going on with this job, they've had a call, they can immediately go into it and be caught up straight away, rather than having to go around the business, all the different departments, and try and find out what's going through other people, which 6 months down the line your memory's not going to be perfect as to what it was. So you can always get the true story. And what they like to say, our directors, is we're all singing off the same hymn sheet.
Yeah,
but that's the most important thing.
That's it. I think that is, Business Pilot's obviously got a whole load of different features that are essentially helping you to do that. Yes. One of the sort of things I like to ask people, and appreciate it's difficult sometimes to single it out, but in terms of Business Pilot, what would you say your particular favorite feature is in Business Pilot? And I suppose just as importantly, or more importantly, why?
I think the reporting side of it is really great. We've not really delved into it that much, and that's something we want to do. And already it's a great, easy view on where to see where everything is. So from an installations point of view, we can see how many plots we've got ready for windows fit straight away. Customer care point of view, we can see where specific jobs are up to at any one point as a whole, and we can narrow it down to specific builders, specific employees to try and, work around everyone's workload. Maybe one person's not got that many jobs open, so they can navigate them to help another person, which is, it's really easy having to be able to see all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So, and I suppose some of that is leaning towards the efficiency side, isn't it? If you can resource plan better, then you become more efficient. More efficient typically therefore means more profitable.
Yeah. So a big thing now is obviously all the customer care doing straight away, and it's straight away from when we implemented it for our customer care team. They saw the difference night and day from working on Outlook appointments and ringing customers up and sending emails and everything really being all over the place to now being just one unified place. It's like night and day for them. I don't think they'd ever want to sort of go back to Outlook after this. It's the amount of time it's making easier for us, the amount of updates we're able to give builders now because we're saving so much time. It's a happy process for everyone.
So then that's one of the other things I'm always interested in. Whenever you put in a new system, obviously you're probably similar to me. We're quite technical in our sort of thinking anyway. So maybe we don't see the technical challenge in bringing in a new system that other people would see if they're less technical. So how have the rest of the team taken to sort of getting on board with Business Pilot, and especially the non-technical ones?
Yeah, I think obviously because we can't just instantly upload everything, so we're sort of phasing out our old Microsoft system into Business Pilot, and there are certain challenges that come across. Maybe not all the information's uploaded, but it's been really easy for people that aren't maybe the most technical people, and they said still the same. It's like night and day. They can see it in the mind's eye that how good it'll be when we're fully onto Business Pilot. I mean, we've been on it now, I think it's like 3 months, and the process that speeds up, you can see it, and it's just a matter of implementing it. And that's one of the things that's got everyone excited really throughout the business, is that everything's going to be so easy once we have all this implemented, and the amount of information you can have just easily accessible to everyone.
And I think that you just say it there, you've been on it 3 months and you're already talking as though you're if you like the pro user, as it were. That to me is testament to just how easy it is. But I never want to put those words into people's mouths. I want to hear from the actual users, people using it day to day, their experience, rather than just sitting back and it's sort of easy to talk about it when you're already in the know.
I mean, it's having the demo, the first demo we got, and then doing the training days with Rebecca and Al, and it was easy to see what we needed to do from my personal standpoint, but then it was just a matter of showing other people how it can work and teaching them, and then obviously getting their opinions. Maybe it's something I've missed because I don't work in our customer care team. It's something they can give me and we can implement that, which has been, again, one of the things we've been doing. It's just a matter of ironing out and smoothing the process, from that original viewpoint. Where can we take it? And possibilities seem endless.
Yeah, and they are. I was in fact, no, I won't go there. I was going to say the advice I give people when they first come on board, but actually that's a perfect time for me to sort of say to you, having just gone through it, if you had somebody now who was saying, oh, you're on Business Pilot, we've just taken it on, we're about to we've just signed the contract yesterday, what would your advice be to us? Then what would you say to them?
Just dive in on it. It's this, obviously when we signed up to it, it became sort of my role to sort of envision how we could implement it and deep dive into everything and understand the full process. So, countless hours just spending, deep down, what if we did this or what if we did that, going into the reporting aspect, the emails, how we can set up the different jobs to suit ourselves, which has been really great. It's not a rigid system where you've got to do one thing. You get a lot of freedom, and I think the best way to find out about that freedom is to just get in there, get your hands dirty, and just get it sorted.
Yeah. So that's quite interesting, because we would say, obviously, Business Pilot, if you look at, I suppose, software, you could go out and just have a piece of software built just for you. And obviously, then it really is bespoke to exactly how you want things done. Yeah. Or you go and get something, let's say, at the other extreme, and let's use one of the big ones, the Salesforces, the HubSpots, these, systems that are, let's face it, they're huge, in terms of the number of users. And then you've got one like Business Pilot, which sits really within installations. You could potentially use it outside of installations, but it'd be a bit of a square peg. So it was interesting you then saying about how it's not that rigid, and that's exactly what we want. We want a piece of software that is off the shelf but really configurable. So if you've got examples of that would be amazing, of where you've configured it.
All the custom fields we get to choose from, the tags, the templates, all this sort of stuff where it pulls information from the jobs, where that's again where we've seen one of the biggest increases and builders have become happier is from the templates, being able to create these times where we can pull in certain amounts of information from and then send it to customers, send it to builders, so regular updates. And the way you can manipulate all the fields into what you want, it's not got to be those certain things. And you can, when you're in the slide example, the live contracts bit, all the filters and columns you can add on to that to get the view that you want. And each user, might want a different view. Maybe one person wants one bit of information, one person doesn't. It's all the stuff like that where we're able to give people just what they need. It narrows down what they're seeing, and that's a great increase, because then they can just focus on their job and get that done.
Perfect. So we've spoken a lot about the system, but you mentioned Rebecca and Arwen, obviously, when you spoke about the training. I'm really keen that we are, I talk a lot about it's not really about software, it's about people. And it just happens that software is the backbone of what we do. Your sort of interactions with the people at Business Pilot, I'd be keen just to understand, how they've managed to support you, especially in the early days.
Yeah, I mean, everyone from the people I've dealt with, obviously Rebecca and Arwen with the training, Kerry, Matt, and Katie from support have all been great. Any sort of questions we've had or issues, from Matt doing the demo, thinking, we could do it this way and getting his views, to then Kerry doing the onboarding with Rebecca and Arwen showing us we could do it this way or we could do it that way. I know Arwen had experience from using Business Pilot elsewhere, which came in really great when we did the 2-bit training days. And then the sort of little bits that I've forgotten from the training days, when I spoke to Katie, she's been great as well, saying you can, it's in this area or that area, or you can do it this way. So everyone's been great, and it's something as a business we always like to work with companies that have got these sort of community-like feels, like a local sort of feel from wherever the business is based, and all the people are super friendly. We can't say that enough. Good. I mean, that's certainly, the whole thing in setting up Business Pilot community was about that. Our whole, if you like, the why behind Business Pilot isn't to create software, it's to help installers. It just happens we do that through this piece of software and other bits. So that's really good. I suppose in terms of anything else, really, it's just if you've got anything to add from your experiences with Business Pilot. So rather than me just sort of
throwing out a sort of question around it. If you were just down the pub now on Friday night and you were just waxing lyrical about this thing called Business Pilot, what are the things you'd be saying?
I mean, it's the same thing, really. It's how easy it is, how everything is in one place, how we can manage resources a lot better within the company. It's stuff like that. When we had the demo with Martin, it was just so easy to see we could make a lot of processes more linear and easy to do for people, and manage the company a lot better, which is what the end game is to save costs, and that's, you can see how it would do that and how it is going to do that in the long run. And I can't really recommend it enough to other people, just from the fact that how easy it is. And from the moment we sat down, how we've just been able to picture how we want it and how it suits us, rather than other systems we looked at, especially the sort of Sage system, and how convoluted that seemed with like 3 different aspects, just to have everything on just one web page and just easy accessible for everyone.
Brilliant. Well, look, that's really what I wanted to sort of get out of this chat, just to hear it from you. And there was some sort of questions in there to give us a little bit of structure, but I just wanted to share your story of Business Pilot. And it's great that you've got that more technical background, so you kind of understand it in a potentially a different way. And actually the fact that deliberately you're still fairly new to it, and I always say that actually the first few months are not the best few months, because you're getting used to a new system. Actually, it gets better from now, so to hear your story at this point is really good. So
I mean, even from like a technical standpoint, the implementation of it is so easy, going through the contact to the lead and then the contract, and it's easy to follow. From a quotation standpoint of view, it's brilliant as well, being able to manage stuff and know exactly what's gone on and why it's gone on. And again, in the reporting aspect, see if you're losing out in certain areas, maybe it's just there's another competitor somewhere that you don't know about that's just beating you to the pip every time, and you can go into that detail really great.
Yeah. Well, and you also said it about Arwin using the system. I mean, actually, it came out of one of the other directors and Cherwell Windows, his business, and then Thames Valley Windows. Rebecca, actually, she also used to use it, but a few years back now, bless her, she was one of the early moves across into Business Pilot. Everybody on the team has come from the installation background, and I think that really shows, and really a lot of what you're saying is because of that. It's that insider knowledge and experience that helps that. That
hands-on feeling that you get from them, where they just they know a way to do it, they know multiple ways to do it, they can show you sort of so many different ways of how you can implement stuff. I had a recent catch up with Rebecca where she gave us some feedback of maybe try it this way, or ask them if you want to do it this other way, and that's been great. And it helps in so many ways, really.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, Joe, thanks for sharing the time.
It's fine, no worries. It's brilliant.
All right, take care, and catch you later.
You too. See you later. Bye.